Hi everyone. To everyone who is the light cut off, so we ran out of light. uh, so it was just for 2 seconds, but the transmission went away. So I don't know what happened really. Anyway, all good now. So good morning, good noon, and good evening. So this is what happens. You do it live streaming and organized by an Argentinian. You never know what is going to happen. Topic for today is hypocrisy. I am a little bit tired, so this is why I'm so slow. So I will take it very calm, no rush, and I will go slow. So the topic for today is hypocrisy, and this is something really important for our times because through our history and mostly these times we're living now, I guess hypocrisy is something very common because everyone wants to be something different to show a different appearance. And for sure, all of us, in some moment of our lives, have been hypocrites. So of course that for us, hypocrisy is something really wrong and it's bad because it means to show something that we are not. So it's basically to lie. We usually think that hypocrisy is something bad and for bad people because we relate hypocrisy with the people that is lying to us to manipulate us, or because they want to to manipulate, to control, to lie. But mostly hypocrisy is not about to manipulate the other with a lie, but it's much more about to be accepted. This is why we all of us in our life, in such a way, we are hypocrites, because somehow, in some places, in some moments, we want to be accepted. And the reason why we look for acceptance, sorry, the light came and so all the machine starts to work again. So what I was saying is that animals, we look for as I was saying, the are looking for acceptance because they need to survive. So they need to be accepted by others if they want to keep transcending, to keep living in our in this reality, in this life. Of course, to understand how this works, hypocrisy works, we need to go back to the very origin of our animal kingdom. This is because all the tools that we have to be what we are now had been created from evolution. So even if we are working here for the spirituality, even if we are working here in the spirituality, in the consciousness, the tool that we choose, the tool that we choose to be here, to work here, is the biology. This is why we need to understand the origin of our biology to understand the tools of today. So today we have problems with the light. It is cutting, so maybe the internet is also resetting. So the reason why we have to go to the origin of the biology constantly is because even if we are working here for the consciousness and for the spirituality, the tool that we used to do so is biological. So we have to understand the tool and the origin of those tools so we can know how to use it. So remember that the organisms, the unicellular organism, when it is evolving, when it's trying to adapt, it gets information from the outside and assimilates that information, and then it becomes in another thing, like multicellular beings, and they also assimilate information within. So when they start to assimilate all that data, all that information, they create patterns. So we create patterns. Patterns are the way in which you assimilate information in biology. You create patterns in order to know how to adapt and develop in the world. So patterns will be the tools that we use and we assimilate to adapt to the environment and to develop in the environment. Picture now the idea of an animal that is trying to that is in the water, that lives in the water, and so it's like kind of a fish, and suddenly it stops raining, there's no more water, begins the drought, and the water goes down. So that little animal needs to adapt to the new environment. So it needs to learn how to walk on the ground and to breathe in the air. That adaptation to the environment, it is the one that will allow the being to survive. So basically, this means that in order to survive, the animals must stop being what they are and be something that they are not to adapt to the new environment. And this means that animals must change the texture of the skin, must change the colors, the shapes. So this means that they must answer to the new world with different shields. These shields, we transform them through thousands and millions of years. So through thousands of years, humans, we have been changing also to adapt to the environment. But this brought us to a moment where we had to evolve with the mind. So we developed the brain to be intelligent. And by intelligence, we discover creativity. We discover imagination, and we start to use it as a tool for evolution, to adapt to the environment. In this way, not only we were using shields in our physical reality, but we also started to create shields in the emotional and the mental. To those shields in our soul, in the emotion and the mind, we call them masks. So as little animals, the mouses, for example, they learn to fake, yes. They learn to fake, to pretend that they are dead. So the other animals said, oh, this is dead, so it is not good. So they moved in the other way. So the little mouse survived. So through thousands of years, humans, we also learned how to do that, to pretend, to fake, by mind. So we could also survive in the environment. So in nature, this ability is called mimetism. And in society, this quality is called hypocrisy. So the origin of the word hypocrisy is hypos, that means under, and of course mask, and krites, that means answer. So hypocrisy is the ability to answer by being hidden. So hypocrisy, in its concept of evolution, is not something bad. It's a tool for survival. And everyone uses hypocrisy to adapt. Because the first hypocrisy that humans does in their lives is to try to imitate mom and dad. The reason why we are hypocrites with mom and dad is because we need to be accepted by the clan, the herd. If we are not accepted by them, so this means that we are not gonna survive. Ourselves believe that. Throughout our lives, we will have to be hypocrites constantly, because we need to adapt to a group. The only ones that are not hypocrites in the human species are the autistic people and the schizophrenic people. And the reason why these two groups is because these two groups, they don't understand about to get adapted to other groups, to socialize. So by nature, we are all hypocrites. All of us, you, me, everyone, we are all hypocrites by nature. Think it about a moment. It hurts to us when someone says you are a hypocrite, because you are used to the concept of hypocrisy with lying. So you don't need to lie to be a hypocrite. What you just need to do is the need of acceptance. And I will try to be very clear so you can see how hypocrites you all are. We all are. When you enter a place, you say good morning. When someone helps you, you say thank you. So if you do so, you are a hypocrite. And the reason why we do that is because we have been taught to treat the other well so the others can accept us. All the normatives of the culture are hypocrites. So now let's try to think about it's a bad thing to say good morning. It's a bad thing to say thank you. This is a tool for harmony, to be all connected in a good way. This is why even if I have the worst day ever and I want to kill someone, when I get inside a place, I will say good morning. So usually, for example, when you walk around and somebody asks you, hey, how are you? Nobody says, I am really sad. Do you have 2 hours to talk? There's not many people that do that. So we use hypocrisy as a way of acceptance so we could survive in a society. This is not bad. This is good. This is a good hypocrisy because you are just using the tools of the society to work together, to just share, to be in harmony with the rest. It's fine. There's no problem with that. The hypocrisy that is kind of bad, that is not aligned, is the hypocrisy that you are using to take a benefit from others, that you use to take something from the others by manipulating them. So the hypocrisy that makes us live in harmony with the rest, with the society, is something useful for our evolution, for our survival. But then we have the other one, which is the bad hypocrisy, which is the one that I use others on my own benefit, and that's the one that we have to calibrate. We usually use both of them because we always want to take benefit from someone or something. We're going to call them the good hypocrisy or the bad hypocrisy. We will call it the evolutive hypocrisy, which is the one that we use because of evolution. So this hypocrisy, the example would be you come to someone and you say, hey, how are you? And you don't want to ask it, and you don't want to know how the other is, but you ask, how are you? And the other one will say, hey, I'm fine. But no, he's not fine. Okay? So that's something that we usually do, that we usually use as an evolutive hypocrisy. And I just want to clarify this because I don't want to see people now saying, I won't ask anyone else now, how are you? Or saying I'm fine, because that's hypocrisy. No, listen carefully. It's an evolutive hypocrisy. Evolutive hypocrisy is useful for the society. Okay? That's it. It's good. It's something that you use by culture. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, the example for the bad hypocrisy will be, you have other people talking about the consciousness, and they are talking, oh yeah, today the consciousness is very important because of blah 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 blah, like this, and you come to the group and you have no idea about consciousness, anything, no clue, and you just sit there and say, oh yes, oh, consciousness, I know a lot about that, and that's it. You are lying, because you know that it's not like that. Okay, so you just make yourself pretend that you know, but that's not true. Look at this, that when we usually think about hypocrisy, immediately we say, oh yes, in my country politicians are hypocrites, the I don't know, the businessmen are hypocrites. But no, that's not like that. Politicians and all these people that you may call hypocrites, they were to the same schools that you did. They had a mom and a dad. They also had the same culture. They went through the same streets. They grew up like you. So they are not hypocrites. The culture is hypocrite. So don't point at anyone saying, oh, that one and this one, because as they say, when you point with one finger, there are 3 of them pointing to you. So basically, hypocrisy tells me to protect the most weak part of myself and protect it with a shield to make me fake as strong outside. And all this comes from patterns, if you remember what we said before. When I learned how to use my patterns, I just learned how to use hypocrisy in a way that is not anymore false. So an easy example of how we use the hypocrisy today is to understand that we usually become what we created for ourselves. Like when you just acknowledge that you have a tool, which is a hammer, for example, and the hypocrisy will say, oh, I have a hammer, so I am a hammer, I am the hammer guy. So I will go all around the world saying, I am a hammer, I am a hammer. So you will end up putting the nails with your head, thinking that you are a hammer. Okay, so you start to believe that you are the tool that you have, and you break your head. So what we usually do is when we recognize, oh, now I know I'm not hammer, and I got hurt because I thought I was a hammer, so I am not a hammer. And then you take the hammer and say, to the hell with the hammer, and you throw the hammer away. So now you have anything. And no, what you have to learn is how to use the hammer. Not to become the hammer, but to use it properly. So hypocrisy would be to become the tool. But when you become aware of the tool, the way you get rid of hypocrisy is by knowing how to use the tool instead of becoming the tool. You understood the difference? So that would be the moment when you become aware that moment, that day when you walk by the streets and someone asks you, hey, how are you? You will be able to say, not very good today, but thanks for asking. Anyway, I don't want to speak about it now. So there you used hypocrisy, the social hypocrisy, because you say thank you, but you're not, you're just being coherent with what is happening with you, with the truth. So now you have the other group, the group that we're talking about, the consciousness. So, oh, consciousness and blah, blah, blah. And you get there and you want to be part of the group, but you say, instead of saying, oh, yes, I know about that, you just say, oh, I never heard about it. Can you explain me? And you become part of the group by just asking without the fear of not knowing, just being honest. So the important thing about this today is to recognize that everything that we have, that we know, should not be taken from the morality or the cultural point of view. Because everything that we use in our life is a concept. If we take the concepts from their pre-concepts, so we are going to be trapped, not willing to transform. So don't be afraid of being hypocrites. Hypocrites. Just be aware of the reason why you are being it and how can you use it in a good way. One of the main paradoxes of the conscious society would be try to not be hypocrite, being it at the same time. All the time when we are trying to see what is bad outside, we lose a lot of time on seeing what is bad inside of us. Just as an advice, try not to say I never, or I have never, or I will never, or I don't. Because usually when people say that, it's because in the subconscious there is a tiny part that is thinking of the possibility of that. Never say never. One of the main paths to find coherence is to never be close to anything. Because coherence is to be open to every process of learning, and mistakes are great teachers. The vibration for today is view. The statement for today is I am transmutation of patterns. The code for today is the 10th dimension. From the void of potentiality, the 10th dimension is the same unity created from broad projections of the universal mind, from previous experiences. Here, universes are created with their own unique new laws, where every being created by the previous cosmos has the possibility of manifesting their own, like in a world of dreams and unlimited imagination. We begin to move shoulders softly. I focus on my breathing. Relaxing the body, letting all the weight fall down. Take a deep breath, perceiving all the light around me. I become aware of all the people around me, all those I know, the good ones and the bad ones for me. I feel the light that emerges from me to surround them all equally. I perceive them being part of my own body, of my own mind, vast as an ocean, in which each person is a wave. I take a deep breath and dive to the depths of this ocean. I observe the light vanishing above as I become surrounded by the shadows of my subconscious. And inside this darkness, I become aware, thinking about my hypocrisy. What are my biggest hypocrisies in life? Take a deep breath. I set the intention. I desire to set myself free from hypocrisy. I desire to take all my mask off. so I could be who I really am. I activate this intention with my sound. I am the transmutation of patterns. I am the transmutation of patterns. I am the transmutation of patterns. Take a deep breath and begin to stretch your body, bringing this consciousness to each part of it. Coming back here and now. أطلق يهم أخوني علاج نمس مس وش لحق ما يخيش لا أطلق مستن كارتكم تيمان ويذم ووايسخ وفقني شدخني ست والكتاخني اشتر خدست يغني التشير خدمشنت ماختي خشني رتش ويغني يعرضو كنماشنا بكلاخني شدورنا منتت ماك فرتشنبك بكداخني ورفتنست نستعاكرشت هذا بكداخني صلت بخاين أسوف ميكداخشتي ذكدرنت ميكرشنت لكدو مساعدش كناس بيترسز نايف هاي هاي I will tell you tomorrow, because I just want to think about what he said. For you to know it, he was master in the school of Yahut, which is taught for most of the people. I tell you tomorrow. So rest and see you tomorrow at the same time. Adios. Adios. Bye.